Good morning, everyone. My name is Brandon Nyes. I am a Multimedia Specialist 2 here at OHSU. And today I'm going to give you a technology orientation for what you can expect to interact with here at OHSU. I am a part of the Teaching Services Office. And by way of introductions, I'm sure you've already met some of the TSO people, being that I'm remote and pre-recording this. I'm sure you've already met them. But as a refresher, Emily Larson is our administrative manager. We also have Mary Curtin, Matthew Rempis, Mackenzie Barnes, Brittany Whitmer, and myself, Brandon Nyes. We are all in the Teaching Services Office, ready and willing to help you with whatever you need. With introductions out of the way, I will briefly cover the agenda, what I want to talk about. So first, we will start out with computer basics. This is going to cover just some of the basics of what your computer should be. By now, you probably you probably have purchased a computer for your time here at OHSU, but in case you haven't, or in case you need to replace the current computer device that you have, we'll talk a little bit about the specifications and the reasons behind why certain computers are better than others. We'll also talk about Duo two-factor authentication, network access, mobile devices, remote access tools, and Echo 360. All right, so computer basics. It kind of goes without saying that computers are they permeated pretty much every aspect of our lives, and medical school is obviously no different than that. When you come here to OHSU, you're expected to have a computer that will be an effective tool for your time here. And what I mean to say by that is there are a lot of cool computers out there. I mean, I own a Razer Blade computer. It's a great thing to have, but that is a computer that may be a bit overboard for what we're looking for, in a similar way that like a brand new MacBook Pro may be a little bit overboard. With that said, your 4-year-old gaming laptop is probably also not an acceptable tool for what we're doing here at OHSU. So just be mindful that whatever device you pick should be regarded as a tool. It should be first thought of as the means for you to get your medical education here at OHSU. And secondarily, you can use it for all of those other fun things that you like to do with a computer. So that's my long and short on choosing the right tool for the job. And when we talk about the right tool, sometimes we want to look at some features like touchscreens or convertibility, like if it goes from a laptop into a tablet. We want to kind of avoid some of those things. And the reason for that is we've seen some issues with those types of devices not playing nice with our board certified secure testing softwares. So we basically need to advise all of you as students to get the correct device that doesn't interfere with the protocols that they have in place for testing integrity. So just for if you are replacing a computer, or if you currently have a computer that is a 2-in-1 convertible or is a touchscreen, we may need to explore a different device option for you. But if you have any questions about that, feel free to reach out to me. You can send me an email, and I will gladly look at your hardware and give you some advice on what may be the best path forward. When it comes to technology, you don't have to pick Windows. You do have the option of going with an Apple computer if you prefer that ecosystem. I'm relatively well versed in that, and our IT group centrally also supports both Windows and Apple. So you are pretty well covered regardless of which one you choose. When it comes to requirements, there are some pretty basic requirements that we have to meet in order to be compliant with those board certified testing softwares. So for a Windows machine, it does need to be capable of running Windows 10 or Windows 11. And I will say for anybody who is techie out there, Windows needs to be version 21H2 Windows 10 version 21H2 or newer. As long as it's that, you should be fine. And with that, there's kind of a line where the hardware is either too old or good enough. And that tends to be right around the 8th generation of Intel processors, as well as the 2nd generation of Ryzen AMD processors. So if your computer has one of those two or newer, you should be okay to continue using that device. And you can see RAM and hard drive space. 8 gigabytes of RAM is a general minimum. I would say it's quickly becoming too little. In favor of about 16 gig of RAM. I would say that would be a wise move if that's an option. And then hard drive space is really dependent on whatever you decide to put on your computer. If you store a lot of photos, or if you are the type that takes a lot of notes and need a lot of local storage for that, the more the better. So just invest in whatever you think is necessary. And if you don't want to invest in local storage, consider cloud storage like a Google Drive or a personalbox.com account or something like that, where you can offload some of your personal files into the cloud and free up some of that local space. You'll see between these two computers, you do need to have things like a camera and a microphone. These are for testing. We do need to have that, and you will need to have a wireless to access the wireless network on campus. Moving on, we're going to talk a little bit about Duo two-factor authentication. So by now, I would suspect that you've probably had an interaction with this, but in case you haven't, Duo is our multi-factor authentication vendor. And basically, the process is when you log into a system on your computer or on your phone, it will request to validate who you are using Duo's application. The application will be on your personal phone, so you will get a notification on your phone when you try to log into one of those systems, and it will ask if that is you, in fact, doing it, and you will just confirm that on your phone device. This is a pretty common security protocol for securing systems like this. If you have an issue with loading Duo onto your personal phone, there are ways around that. I shouldn't say ways around that. We can get you a different kind of device that will still give you the multi-factor authentication. But predominantly speaking, having it on your phone is very simple and very convenient. And it will automatically prompt you when that system detects that you're trying to log into a system. So you may hear this referred to as a Duo push or 2FA or MFA. All of these are synonymous for two-factor authentication. And that just means that your computer is the first factor, your phone is the second factor, and those two give you authorization to get into that system. If you haven't had an interaction with Duo yet, the way to start that process would be to use one of our secure systems. So, for example, if you open a browser and go to mail.ohsu.edu, the first thing you'll be presented with is a login screen where you can log in and access your OHSU email. And then part of that, it'll show you this Protect Your OHSU account with a Start Setup button. You can press that and then go through the setup process for creating the secure link that says this device is the device that will allow me to do this two-factor authentication. So if you have any issues with Duo authentication, I would recommend reaching out to ITG directly. You can reach them on their phone, which is 503-494-2222. If you're on campus, any campus phone, you can dial 42222. Or you can send me an email and I can help you get set up with who you need to talk to. But generally, if you contact ITG first, when it comes to Duo authentication, they'll be able to get you set up right away, including if you lost your phone. If you lose your phone or replace and upgrade your phone, you'll need to contact ITG if you don't go through the transfer process before getting your new device. So all things considered, just let me know if you have any issues. We can work through them and make sure that your Duo is working fine. At OHSU, we have a variety of networks, and network access is going to be critical to your success here at OHSU. One of the networks that is available across the entirety of campus, and in fact, it's available across 450 different campuses all over the world, it's called EduRoam. And if you open up your laptop or your phone device, you should see the EduRoam network available to you. If you click to join that, you'll type in your OHSU email address and your password, and it should allow you to go ahead and join the EduRoam network. If you have any issues with joining EduRoam, you can download an app called Get EduRoam, and you can see, of course, and you can see the address for that here. It's www.geteduroam.app. And this usually helps to resolve security certificate issues that might happen if you have an issue. So that is the means for connecting to EduRoam. As you were looking for EduRoam, you may have seen a network called OHSU Guest. The OHSU Guest network is not intended for student use, and it's not intended for employee use. This is really catered for outside vendors. It's for guests of the hospital or of the school. Anybody who does not typically access any kind of internal systems. There's no security in place on that to speak of, and there is no support for it. So if the OHSU guest network goes down, or you're having connectivity issues or things like that, you're using the wrong network. And I would encourage you to connect to the EduRoam network immediately. That is the right network. And again, if you have issues with EduRoam, let me know, and we can certainly look into that and figure out what's going on. Another network that you may be tempted to join would be to find one of the network cables and plug it directly into your laptop. It'll work for about 2 minutes until ITG catches up and does something we call network access control, or NAC. Your computer will be banned from the network, and we don't want that to happen because it's just a bad thing. And the networks on campus, the wired networks, that's our secure network. Plugging into that would potentially give you access to systems that contain personal health information, information that we do not allow to be transferred to personal devices. So never plug in your personal device into one of the campus networks. Just please do not do it. It's against our policies, and it surely may seem like a good idea at the time, but it's not. Please don't do it. Mobile devices. So mobile devices are quickly kind of becoming integral to how we work. It's inconvenient to lug around a laptop 100% of the time. So, but our phones are typically personal devices, especially with you as students. You have your personal phone. So how can you use your personal devices here at OHSU? First and foremost, as I said before, when you use any device, we need to make sure that we are protecting patient health information. We don't want to have any patient health information be exposed to the public, and it's our responsibility to keep that secure. So only use your mobile device in ways that are in line with OHSU's policies. One of the ways that you can use your phone is to use it as your Duo Mobile two-factor authenticator. Another application you can install on your phone is Boxer. You can use that to securely access your email here at OHSU. And if you do not want to install Boxer, you can also open up your phone's browser and browse to mail.ohsu.edu, and you can browse your email directly in your mobile browser. So that's not completely necessary, but it's added on. But beyond that, your cell phone shouldn't be used for much else here at OHSU. And it certainly shouldn't be tied to any other OHSU related systems. I'm going to take a moment again to stress how important this is. If you see something, say something. This is in regards to people misusing technology as you see it here at OHSU, whether that's accessing computers that they maybe shouldn't be accessing, or if you have received an email that contains information that you feel is sensitive or inappropriate in nature. There are resources for you to reach out and to say something. One of those is the Information Privacy and Security Office. If you receive medical records or some kind of information that is falls outside the scope of your coursework, and you feel that you need to report it, you can call them or you can email them directly. Their information's on the screen, or you can anonymously report issues of integrity to the Office of Integrity, and they have an integrity hotline that you can call 24/7 that you can express anonymously any integrity issues. So, all right, moving on to remote access tools. So remote access tools in this sense means we are allowing access into our secure systems from an outside device. So you are remotely accessing our internal systems. And the way we do this is through Citrix. We use the Citrix receiver. You might also see this called Citrix Workspaces. But you can access this by going to portal.ohsu.edu. And actually, I'm going to take a second to do that right now because I feel like it can get a little crazy. So we'll go to portal.ohsu.edu. And you'll be presented with a login screen just like this. We'll type in our username and password. And typically, you would get asked for a duo push right there. I've just recently logged in, so it's already validated who I am. And you'll get to this screen here, where it asks you if you want to be in the full version of the receiver or a light version. For your purposes, really the light version will be fine. In some cases, and there are features that are more it's more full-featured to do the full receiver version, but it's just as fine to use the light version. And once you click on that, you should see all of the applications that are available to you through Citrix. And these, like I said, are virtual tools that allow you to access our secure systems. So this is Chrome as if you were using a machine here on campus. Citrix Desktop is a virtual desktop environment as if you were on campus. So if you need to access a resource that is available only internally, you would start up something like a Chrome instance, let's say, and we'll wait for Chrome to start up here with our user profile. And as soon as it goes through this process, we can access whatever internal system we need to. This is going to be pretty common for some of the systems that you interact with. One such tool is going to be the digital slide tool. So I'm actually going to copy this address right here. And as soon as this session pops up, I'm going to pop that URL in there and show you how to log into the digital slide tool. Okay, so now we'll go ahead and paste. Actually, it's going to be histology. What did I say that was? Histopathology slides. All right. And now when we type in histopathologyslides.ohsu.edu, since we're inside this virtual environment, we can now log in with our username and password and gain access to this tool. If we were to try to do this just outside of these remote access tools, so we'll do histopathology. www.ohsu.edu. It just can't be reached. And the reason is because, histopathology slides. Let's make sure that we do it right. Same thing. And the reason is because it's an internal resource. We're not, we just don't have the ability to connect to that without being facilitated through Citrix. So Citrix will become a part of your processes, and just be aware that that is how that's how you access those. Back to the presentation. Display, swap. Okay, a couple other tools that you will access using the portal is Ready, which will be discussed here in just a few minutes, as well as your Epic training environment. So you'll typically access that through Citrix. All right, and that brings us to Echo 360 and Echo Cloud. Echo 360 is it's a combination of hardware and software. So each of our learning studios has a device in it. And if you look around the learning studio, you're going to see a camera and a confidence monitor, and all of these displays. These are all being recorded, and the sessions will be processed, and you'll be given a link to each one of these sessions. So this becomes our course video content library. We always have a record of these sessions if they're recorded on site, and you can always access that content by going back into Echo Cloud. So all live sessions that don't have patient health information are recorded. So there's going to be some sessions that you won't find in Echo Cloud, because we're not allowed to record that content. But any content that we're allowed to record, we'll generally provide to you in a link in Sakai. It'll also be available directly inside Echo Cloud. One thing to know is that as the videos are recorded, there is a small amount of delay that's incurred when it gets processed. And if you're familiar with video, it's just encoding it into its final output. That typically takes a little bit of time. So as soon as the session ends, the video won't be immediately available, but it will be available automatically as soon as that processing time has elapsed. So go ahead and just wait if you don't see it immediately after the session. It typically takes anywhere from 2 hours to 24 hours, but we've seen it very quick recently. So I feel pretty confident in saying it's going to be about a 2-hour window to be available for you. And as I mentioned, we typically also make those available in Sakai as links, so that you don't have to waste time scrubbing through Echo Cloud to find the resources that you want. And Emily will be showing you all through Sakai here in just a few moments. So get ready for that. That's a pretty fun system. And aside from that, that's all I have. And again, I just want to make sure that you're all supported when it comes to your technology. I'm a technology nerd in the same way that I assume that you are all nerds in medicine. And I mean that in the most kind way possible. You all are here starting your journey to learn how to become the next doctors. And it's my goal to be your tech guy, and to help you always be up and running and capable of learning what you need to become the best doctors. So if you have any issues that come up related to technology here at OHSU, please let me know, and I will do what I can to help resolve that.